there,
Okay.
and I think that I was creating a facade that I'm big, I'm bad, I don't care,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't care about nothing, but
But in the inside, you had
yeah,
to.
but I wasn't
Yeah.
I didn't connect with that at that
Okay.
time because I really was a brutal giant on the inside. So
Okay.
the soft part that how a person should be,
Mhm.
I didn't have that. I
Mm.
wasn't connected to that
Was
at
that
those times.
because of the years of things that you have been enduring and
Mhm.
situations and group home to group
Mhm.
home and people ostracizing you and
Yes.
no connection with the female like a
Mhm.
motherly instinct or anything like that.
Yes.
So then where was your grandmother while you were going through all of this? Did she know about what was
She
going
was
on?
she was in Oklahoma, and before I went to the group home, I would go there every summer to spend time with her and
Okay.
my rest of my family members.
Mhm.
So those were happy times.
Mhm.
And no, I didn't share with them what was going on because
Okay.
even to this day, I have an aunt we're the same age, and she was like, "Why did you tell me any of this?"
Mhm.
At 52, when
Mhm.
I got out, we discussed some things, and she just was shocked, like,
Yeah.
"You never told me any of this."
Yeah.
I didn't have the wherewithal to tell you. I didn't have the articulation to tell you, and I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't have an answer for that other
Yeah.
than whenever I go there, I'd be so happy,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
like all that is on the back burner
Yeah,
because I'm gonna have to get back to
yeah,
reality when I
right.
leave here. So let me just be in bliss right now.
Yeah, and it was so much fun,
Yeah.
you know. So
And so when you had gotten out, how old were you?
when I got out of prison,
No, not prison,
oh,
out of the
YA,
YA. Hmm.
I was 21.
Okay.
20, I was 20. So I
Oh,
went
you
in at 17, I got out when I was 20.
okay. And then were you then in lesbian relationships furthermore?
Yes, in YA, and just carrying on, It didn't too much get me in trouble in there, but yes.
So did you end up getting into violent relationships because all you knew was violence in those relationships as well? Or was those off limits because you felt loved from that person?
Well, up until I paroled, my relationships with women were just, uh that puppy love, it was no violence. It just, was what it was. I'm pretty sure they were toxic, but not to the level of violence at that
Okay.
time.
Okay.
You know, they weren't healthy. I was young. We just
Yeah.
living life.
You're right.
We weren't trying to, see anything past the moment.
Yeah. Right.
You
Right.
know,
And so when you went to the penitentiary, how old were you?
27.
27. So
Yes,
you had stayed out for 7 years.
I'd stayed out for 7 years,
And
but when
then,
I paroled from YA, I came back home to live with my parents.
oh, did you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
funny thing is, every time I was incarcerated, they were um there for me,
Really? That's
visit
so
me,
good.
make sure I had financial support
Yeah.
all through,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was always a different dynamic when I
Mm-hmm.
was locked up because to me those were displays of love.
Mm-hmm.
We
Most
love
definitely.
you, you
Yeah.
know. But still no real talks. We ain't never had no real
Yeah.
conversation for real,
Do you think it's because it wasn't there? Ain't nothing in there to get out. So how I'm gonna give you something that ain't in there?
Well, at that time, I
Mhm.
understand, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
But when I went home from that first incarceration.
Okay.
Home was good in the sense of, once again, everything is provided for,
Yeah.
but we're not having no real conversations.
Right.
And at that time, I was trying to get in college.
Okay.
I've always been a really good student.
Mm-hmm.
Always got good grades.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the articulation to say, this is what I want, this is what I need.
Really?
Really,
Why
because
not?
I didn't have that I didn't have that type of relationship with them.
Okay.
I didn't have that familiarity to say, Mom, Dad, this is what I need.
Okay.
So it is almost like when I went back into that home, I reverted to
12.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
in that no communication. You just exist. You're a child seen and not heard.
Yeah.
Even though I'm 20 years old.
Right.
So I didn't have the wherewithal to say, listen, I just got out and this is what I need. I done started college in there. I need you to help me get this going.
Yeah.
So rather than ask for their help, I'm trying to catch the bus and go to Sac City, make this happen. But you need help. So,
Yeah.
you need help
Yeah.
with some of this. and I didn't know how to ask for that.
Okay.
So what I did was resort to drinking.
Okay.
You know, that has been my muse throughout my life, even at 12, 13, drinking.
Wow, really?
Yes.
How did you experience drinking? Where did you get that from?
I had a god sister who would allow me to come over when I was like 14,
Mm-hmm.
and she introduced me to wine coolers. You know,
Okay.
and so
And
you
how
know,
many years difference? were you
I
guys?
don't quite know how old she is. I just know she was a grown woman.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I would say she's probably about 10 years older than me.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
So she was already past
yeah.
21.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so she would allow me to come over there, and we talked. So she was somebody that I engaged with as an adult for a short time in my life.
Okay.
You know, and she was like an older sister,
Yeah.
aunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy drinking.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going over there.
Did it make you feel more violent?
No,
Or no?
I've never been a violent drunk.
Was you a happy drunk?
Yeah, I was. I've always been very shy and introverted, so drinking would make me more extroverted and open, and able to talk. And,
Right. Right.
So
what did that feel like when you first was able to have a real conversation with an adult finally, as you're now, able to talk to the god sister? Did you know how to even do that?
Yeah.
You did?
I felt connected.
Okay.
I felt accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I belonged.
Oh, wow.
I felt loved.
Mm-hmm.
It felt good.
Yeah.
And it was just wonderful to have that kind of bond.
Okay. And so then was that not enough for you to say, hey, I don't want to go back to non-communication. I don't want to go back to, not being heard. It didn't drive something in you to say,
No.
okay.
It took me to go to prison to really assess myself and my life, to understand that how I got to that point
Okay.
was the inability to communicate.
Mm.
So today I'm all for communication.
Yes. Yes.
If I could have, throughout all these trials and tribulations in my life, if I could have somewhere said, this is what I need, this is what I would like to have.
Yeah.
Do you think we can, do you think we can do it? You think we can get it? We think we can have it? If I could have just communicated, articulated my heart's desires, my mind's thoughts, it would have been a different outcome.
Yeah.
Throughout different turns in my life.
Because I'm a firm believer of it's always a matter of a conversation. Put a conversation on it. Let's converse. No matter what it is, even when it's hard and through tears, let's still have a conversation. Let's still converse. Let's sit down and break bread. Let's hear me and let me hear you. And we both have to be willing to listen and understand and not be committed to misunderstanding. Because sometimes people are they're so committed to misunderstanding. And so that's crazy. And so how many years did you do in prison?
Let me see, 22. Yes.
My God, that's crazy. And did you ever think you were going to get out?
Never did I think that I would get out. I became complacent with the fact that, you know what, this is where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And let me find purpose in this here situation.
Yeah.
So the purpose that I found was I was a fitness trainer for the firefighters.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah.
So I'm all right with it. And this is just, this is what the Lord had for me. And I'm okay with it.
And so you had put your little rug out already. You got your crock pot and your coffee machine and all of the gadgets and gadgets you made yourself at home. So was there a particular prop that came out that allowed you to come home?
Okay, first it initially started. There was a prop that came up inside the prison that said, if you have not had any write-ups, or had many write-ups, and you've completed a certain amount of classes, programs, then you would be eligible to have your case reassessed, to be looked at in the courts. But we would have to submit it to the counselors in prison, and the guards would have to approve it.
Okay.
because they're the ones who have interaction with you every
Right.
day. The
Mhm.
counselor only sees you like every 3 months.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, I was coming out of one of my evening classes, and one of the other inmates said, "Hey, Mbulu, did you hear about such and such
Mhm.
rule that's come down?" I said, "No."
Yeah.
And when she told me, and she was an inmate that got in trouble a lot,
Yeah.
but because I had a rapport with almost everybody, had a lot of respect from people,
Yeah.
she let me know this.
Yeah.
Had I not known her, I would not have known this.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so from that information she gave me, I went and asked the counselor. I got the paper to fill out the application. I
Mhm.
turned it in. And mind you, as an inmate, you just do stuff because it's available.
Okay.
You're not always thinking anything is going to happen, you know.
Okay.
So I turned it in, and within 30 days it came back. You've been approved.
Shut up. No
Yes.
way.
Yes, you've been approved.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So that meant that I'm going to go to court,
Uh-huh.
and the judge is going to, well, not going to. I went to court, and the judge took off one of my strikes because, mind you, I was given 30 to life,
Yeah.
which would have been 15 to life, but I had a strike, you know, because I've had a lot of violent behavior throughout
Right.
my life
Right.
because what I've been through.
Mhm.
So he took off a strike from assault with a deadly weapon,
Okay.
where I had shot somebody when I lived
Okay.
in the Bay Area.
Mhm.
And with him taking off that strike, it gave me 15 to life.
Okay.
And this was my 20-year mark.
Uh-huh.
So I had already done 20 years.
Yeah.
So that made me eligible to go to the parole board.
Okay.
So then I got the opportunity to go to the parole board to present myself.
Okay.
And I was a lifer, and oftentimes, like 99% chance that lifers do not go home when
Yeah.
on their first time of going to board,
Right.
because you really don't have the wherewithal to connect the dots that they're looking for,
Yeah.
to show the remorse, to
Mhm.
show the understanding that
Mhm.
you realize what you done, why you
Mhm.
did it,
Mhm.
and that you've really overcome.
Yeah.
So in this time, you know, and me working on myself, reading books, trying to prepare myself to go before the board,
Yeah.
I still had no idea that I would be granted, but by the grace of God, I was granted parole on my first time going to the parole board.
No way.
Yes,
Wow, that's huge.
very huge.
That's beyond huge. It's
Yes.
almost unheard of.
Yeah, that part.
That is
For
crazy.
real.
So, were you going to classes just to go to classes to fill out and occupy time, or
No.
were you really trying to work on you?
My first thought about going to prison. Let me back up to when I was in the county jail
Okay.
fighting this case and all of this.
Mhm.
I told the Lord that I would not let it be in vain,
Okay.
that I would really turn my life around, that I
Mhm.
would really work on myself.
Wow.
And it took some time, it wasn't overnight,
Of
you
course.
know,
Mhm.
but I was committed to wanting to understand why I did what I did.
Yeah.
I want to understand why I was angry, why I was
Yeah.
violent, why I was the woman that I was.
Mhm.
And so it took being able to take the courage to look at myself,
Mhm.
take these classes, listen,
Yeah.
you know, internalize it,
Mhm.
you know. So for me, it was never about a certificate.
Yeah.
It was never about how it's going to look to the parole board in the long
Yeah.
run. It was truly about, I don't want to be that monster.
Yeah.
I don't want to cause harm to another human being.